The jury deliberation process stands at the heart of adversarial justice systems, particularly those rooted in common law traditions such as the United States and the United Kingdom. It represents one of the most distinctive institutional mechanisms for ensuring community participation in criminal and, in some jurisdictions, civil adjudication. Beyond its symbolic role, jury deliberation is a tightly regulated legal process governed by constitutional guarantees, statutory provisions, and judicial oversight. This essay examines the legal foundations, procedural steps, and safeguards that frame the deliberation process, with attention to the principles that preserve its legitimacy. Legal foundations of jury deliberation. 1. Constitutional underpinnings. In the United States, the right to a trial by jury in criminal cases derives from Article 3, Section 2 of the Constitution and the Sixth Amendment. These provisions enshrine the jury as a fundamental guarantee of impartial adjudication, placing community members at the core of the fact-finding function. The deliberation process is therefore not merely procedural, it is constitutionally protected. Additionally, the Fifth and 14th Amendments reinforce due process obligations that shape how jurors evaluate evidence, ensuring that verdicts reflect fairness, impartiality, and adherence to legally prescribed standards. 2. Statutory and procedural regulation. Legislatures and courts have adopted detailed procedural rules governing jury conduct. In the US, the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure, particularly Rule 23 and Rule 31, outline the composition of the jury and the requirement of unanimity in federal criminal cases. State-level provisions may vary, with some jurisdictions allowing non-unanimous verdicts in limited circumstances, though this has become increasingly restricted following the Supreme Court's decision in Ramos v. Louisiana, 2020, which mandated unanimous verdicts for serious offences. These frameworks collectively circumscribe how jurors evaluate evidence, comply with instructions, and reach verdicts. 2. The structure and dynamics of the deliberation process. 1. Sequestration and privacy of deliberations. Once the presentation of evidence concludes and the judge issues jury instructions, jurors retire to a deliberation room. This stage is entirely private. No judge, attorney, defendant, bailiff, or external observer may enter. The logic is twofold. 1. To protect jurors from undue influence, and 2. To encourage open, honest discussion among them. The secrecy of deliberations is considered indispensable. Courts typically refuse to inquire into the substance of deliberations even after the verdict, adhering to the long-standing no impeachment rule that insulates the process from external scrutiny. 2. The role of the jury foreperson. During deliberations, jurors elect a foreperson who guides discussion, communicates with the court, and ensures procedural order. This role is administrative, not authoritative, ensuring that all jurors' voices are heard. The foreperson may call for votes, structure discussion of specific pieces of evidence, or help clarify points of law by issuing written questions to the judge. 3. Evaluating evidence and applying the law. Jurors must analyze the evidence presented during trial, applying the law exactly as instructed by the judge. They are expressly prohibited from conducting independent research, consulting external sources, or discussing the case with outsiders. Their task involves evaluating witness credibility, weighing documentary and physical evidence, resolving questions of fact, and applying the standard of proof beyond a reasonable doubt in criminal cases. The interplay between collective reasoning and individual assessment creates a dynamic often studied by psychologists, but legally it is constrained by clear boundaries that aim to minimize prejudice and improper influence. 4. Voting and striving for unanimity. In most criminal trials, the verdict must be unanimous. Jurors may take multiple rounds of voting, interspersed with discussion, until consensus is achieved. Judges may issue instructions such as the Allen charge, a supplemental instruction urging jurors to re-examine their views without surrendering honest convictions, when deliberations appear deadlocked. However, coercion is strictly forbidden. Courts monitor for signs of undue pressure through juror notes and post-verdict inquiries into external influences, not internal reasoning.